Hello scent addicts, welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm your host Alim. And so a couple of weeks ago I did a list of the longest lasting affordable fragrances. For that one I focused strictly on longevity, and while some of those had strong projection as well, that wasn't always the case. So a few folks in the comments asked me if I would do a projection focused one, so here we are. But I laid down some rules for myself. First, only one fragrance from each brand. So while Zimaya and Afnan are owned by the same parent company, I did allow one entry for each one. Second, no repeats from the longevity video. And third, at bare minimum, they needed to project for at least 2 hours. I wanted to avoid fragrances that go hard in the paint for like 30 minutes and then proceed to fall off a cliff. With that all out of the way, let's jump in. As you would expect, all these are monster projectors, but they do get stronger with each entry. So let's start off with the first one, and that's Ahmed Maghribi's Kaaf, and particular the Extrait de Parfum. And this is inspired by Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce, but it'll also remind you of PDM's Percival. This one is fresh, it's fruity with watermelon and red fruits. It also gives you this like aquatic marine accord, but it's not a slap you in your face type level of marines. That we'll get to a little bit later in the list. This one is a quintessential freshie though. Tons of aromatics and florals as well. Lavender, jasmine, lotus, lily of the valley. There's also the sandalwood note in the base that gives it like a milky, woody dry down. Now this one has sneaky projection. When you first apply it, it doesn't appear to be really strong, but after a few minutes, it will fill the room. Strong projection for at least the first 2 hours. This has flown under the radar for many years, but it is a certified banger. Next up, we have Afnan's Turathi Blue, and this is a spot-on clone of Bulgari's Tiger. Now, I have a couple of clones of Bulgari's Tiger. I have Lattafa's Pisa, I also have Maison Alhambra's Bronzonite, but I think this is the best one, and it also is the strongest projecting. Aromatic, aquatic, strong, bright citrus. The most prominent citrus you get is grapefruit. Woody, ambery with spices. So funny story, I freshly had sprayed this when I was going out with my family a few months ago, and I almost choked everybody out in the car. We had to drive with the windows down in 95-degree weather just to air out the car. So naturally, really strong projection for the first few hours. Not the longest lasting, but the first 2 hours is money. Next up, we have Dumont's Nitro White. And I did a ranking list of Dumont Nitro line. And spoiler alert, this was my number one on that list. I love this stuff. It's about 30% original Nitro Red, mixing with about 70% stronger with you. And this is a sweet boy. Sweet, powdery, tons of honey, resins, and vanilla. But that's mixed with these aromatics and freshness. Juniper berries, iris, cypress. Fall and winter only, maybe cooler days in the spring. Another funny story with this one, a few days ago when I was testing these out, I did happen to spray this one on skin. And I was down here for a couple of hours just testing other fragrances. When I went up for bed, my wife was like, you better wash that off before you come to bed because I will not be able to sleep. That's how strong it is. Projects strongly for 2 to 3 hours. I know Nitro Red gets all the hype, but this one, out of all of them, is my favorite, and man, it does perform. Next up, we have Rayhaan Lion, and at this point, I believe this is the best clone of Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultramall. And now, much respect to Afnan's 9pm, it will forever be iconic when it comes to clone fragrances, but at this point, I just think this is better, and it does perform better as well. Sweet, spicy gourmand with fresh and minty accents. Pear, lavender, mint, bergamot. It sounds like a freshie at first, but then the stars of the show really show up, and that's cinnamon, vanilla, amber, and patchouli. Boy, strong projection for 2 to 3 hours. People will smell you 2 or 3 arm lengths away. Best used for the fall and winter as well because it is very sweet. Rayhaan is releasing monster performers recently, and this one fits right in with the rest. Next up, we have French Avenue's Azour Oud, which is a clone of Maison Crivelli's Oud Mercouja. And I think this gets about 90% close to the OG. This is an intense fragrance that balances bright, sweet, and tropical opening of passion fruit and other fruits with like this deep resinous and woody core of oud, patchouli, and leather. This one nails that jammy passion fruit better than any of the other clones that I own. With the dry down, you get warmth and a long-lasting nature. And it comes with creamy vanilla and these smooth woods. It's great for evening wear, formal occasions, definitely colder months as well. When it comes to projection, this thing jumps off of your skin for like the first 3 hours. There are a lot of Oud Maracuja clones out there, but I still think this is probably the best one. Next up we have Rasasi Shurah pour Homme, and I don't think this is actually cloning anything, at least that I know of. I could have gone with Hawass Black, but I thought let's go with something that's a little bit lesser known but still projects just as strongly. The notes are wild on this one. Tomato leaf, freesia, rose, in the mid more rose, sandalwood, cedar, and jasmine. In the base you get leather, oud, musk, oak moss, and amber. The note of tomato leaf may seem odd to some people, but all it does is it gives it like this sharp green aromatic note. Also, you get this jammy rose in the top and in the mid, and it transitions into this deep, woody, leathery scent. This one is very unique. It'll help you stand out because it doesn't smell like anything else that I've smelled. This is a fantastic fragrance that I do believe deserves more love. Definitely very masculine, very good projection and sillage for the first 3+ hours easily. My bottle is a few years old, so it may have matured like crazy at this point. Also best for the fall and winter, evenings, night out, that type of scent. If you haven't checked this one out, and if the only thing that you know is Rasasi's Hawass line, give it a shot. They do have some really, really good stuff that's not part of that line that people just don't know about. I also have the new Shurah Elixir. I'm still testing this one out. I really haven't gotten a chance because I've been doing other videos. But if this projects even more than that, that would be insane. Next up we have Shuraf Blend. And this is Zimaya's take on the Lattafa Camera and to a lesser degree the Angel Share DNA. I can imagine the discussion the folks of Zimaya were having when they were trying to create this. They're like, how can we make this different from Camera, Angel Share, and a ton of other clones? And what they probably decided, let's make this nuclear. This DNA is a masterpiece at this point. Much closer to Camera as opposed to Angel Share. Leans much more into that sweet and spicy gourmand instead of those boozy notes that Angel Share is known for. In fact, I don't think there's any type of booze even listed in the notes. Super sticky dates and praline, creamy vanilla, tonka, and resins. Monster projection and sillage for 3 to 4 hours. You can easily fill up a room with this one. Fall and winter, the classic gourmand seasons, also date night. This is a gem, completely unisex one as well. I know there's a lot of clones of this DNA, but this might be the best one yet. Next up, I wanted to highlight a brand that's a little bit lesser known, and that's King of Kings, and specifically their Royal Amber. And this is a clone of Xerjoff's Herba Pura. Now, I know for most people, their go-to clone for Herba Pura is Al Harmain's Amber Oud Gold Edition. And while that is also really, really good when it comes to projection, this one is at a different level. Sweet, tropical, fruity gourmand. This DNA is known to give you fruit salad vibes, and that's exactly what you get here. You get mango, Calabrian bergamot, lemon, green apples, melon, pear, sweet gourmands. You also get amber, vanilla, musk, and woods. Bunch of subtle spices with cardamom, cloves, and cinnamon that give it a nice little kick, not too much. There are a couple clones of Herba Pura that really, really perform well, but nothing even comes close to this one. This one truly does take the cake. Monster projection for at least 3 to 4 hours. It could be even longer. I know King of Kings is not talked about a lot, but their stuff is really, really good and it deserves more love. And if you're going to check out any from their line, and if you like that fruity fruit salad vibe, go with this one. Okay, so with the last two, you have to be super, super careful. You can cause yourself or the people around you a lot of distress. You might think I'm exaggerating, but trust me, I'm not. I know people that have gotten sick with how strong these fragrances are. So at number 2, I have Lattafa's Atlas, and this is about a 95 to 90% close clone of Megamare by Ora Parisi. Aquatic fresh, salty, ozonic. This is super salty sea made into a fragrance. Now this is definitely challenging scent profile for sure. I did not like this when I first got it. Now as time has gone, my nose has developed, my tastes have changed, and I actually really do like it now. And I think part of the reason I didn't like it up front was because I was spraying this like it was a normal fragrance, and you cannot treat it like that. Notes include, of course, marine and aquatic notes, salt, Davana iris. You also get this earthy oak moss and creamy sandalwood. Now, this one may define beast mode projection. It is nuclear. You will project for 4+ hours easily. Summer only, hot days in spring. It only really works in that high heat scenario. 2 to 3 sprays max, you have been warned. I am an oversprayer and I'm telling you no more than 2 to 3. At my number 1 spot, we have the beast of all beasts, and that is Swiss Arabian Shaghaf Oud Aswad. And I'm not sure if this is cloning anything. Some people have said it is Montal's Intense Black Oud, but honestly, this can remind you of a number of fragrances that really focus on rose and oud. But imagine that times 10 when it comes to projection. As I mentioned, rose and oud are the main attractions. Tons of spices here with saffron, cumin, and coriander. In addition to the oud, you also get additional woody notes with sandalwood. Oh, and there's leather and musk. In the base, you also get some much needed sweetness with vanilla and ambers. If the notes sound intense, it's because they are. Extremely powerful, super beast mode projection and sillage for 5 to 6 hours, maybe even longer. Another 2 to 3 sprayer only. This is winter only as well. I would actually even stick with just nights and outdoor events. If you go heavy with this one, or you try to do it in warm weather, you might hurt somebody. I don't know what Swiss Arabian did with this one to make it such a monster. I also think Swiss Arabian as a whole deserves more hype. Their stuff is really, really good. And they are a little bit unique because they offer clones, yes, like many of the other Middle Eastern brands, but they also have some niche quality original creations. If you have not explored that brand, give it a shot. So there you have it, folks, 10 monster projecting fragrances. Let me know in the comments if I left any out that you would have included on your list. And as always, please hit that like and subscribe button so I can keep bringing you good content like this. And stay tuned for more affordable fragrance content. Until next time, I'm out.